Hi, and welcome back to my channel at Also Victoria, where I'm a part-time reseller on Etsy, Poshmark, and eBay and Thrilling. So I'm gonna go over the 19 items that sold like second week of December, so last year, as I catch up on all my what solds. Doesn't look like I had any thrilling. Nope, no thrilling sales that week. So just in 1, 2, 4 of my shops. Okay, so let me let you know. I'll put up the figures here of my gross net fees, cost of goods. So my gross was $420.40. My fees were $86.42. My cost of goods were $35.74. So that makes my net profit $298.24 thereabouts. That's just taking out the fees and the cost of goods. Um, so that's that. And then of the items that sold in the shops, I sold 4 items on Oso Victoria Etsy shop for a total of $198. I sold 6 items in my Cameron D shop where I sell vintage collectibles for a total of $89.30. I sold 5 items on Poshmark for a total of $100 and 4 items on eBay for a total of $113.10. Shop, I sold these egg salt and pepper shakers, which I've had forever. I sold them for $11.50. They cost me $1.99 at the Goodwill here in Ashland where I live. I picked them up in 2010. So this is when I first started selling online. I did have a brick and mortar shop years before this. So I listed them in 2011. And it cost me for the amount of time I had them listed, because I didn't relist. I was doing manual relistings and I didn't always do that every 4 months until I put everything on automatic renewal. It cost me about $6.60. So anyway, profit on those were $3.38. And then on eBay, I sold this Merrick Old World Christmas heart ornament. It was the only one like it I've seen online. Although there was other Old World Merrick ornaments, but this is the only heart one I seen. Sold it for $15. Paid 99 cents for it at the Goodwill back in June of last year, and listed it in October. So that took 2 months for that to sell. And then my vintage clothing and accessory shop where I sold vintage jewelry and Etsy. I sold this jade tree with pearls brooch for $38. Paid $2 for it at a yard sale. This was a fantastic yard sale. Can't remember when I went to that yard sale, but I had listed the brooch in 2018. So it took several years for that to sell. But what's great about that yard sale, she was clearing, she was living in New York, but she grew up here in Ashland. Her mother had a vintage antique shop. Her mother passed away, everything went into storage. She was paying storage fees. She moved to New York City, was a massage therapist, got tired of paying storage fees, came back out here to Ashland, had a yard sale, and there was hardly nobody there. And so I picked up all those patterns. I picked up 7 banana boxes of vintage patterns and a bunch of other stuff. And I asked her what she's going to do with the rest of the stuff, and she said she'll probably take it to the Goodwill. I said, well, I gave her my phone number. Well, when you told her when you're ready to get rid of it, just give me a call because I will come pick it up and take it or go through it and sort it or whatever. And she did. And so I went in. I picked up some fantastic things. In fact, if I would have known her prices were that low on the jewelry and stuff, I would have actually bought more. I mean, she had tons of stuff. I actually had to. So I ended up paying $70 for the patterns, and I had to actually go to the bank and get the cash to come back and pay her. I think it was a time when I didn't have so much money banked away. But that's not a problem now. For now. For now, it's not a problem. Who knows in the future what it'll be like. So, yeah, it's always nice to have cash to work with when you have a business like this. And let's see, then on eBay, I sold this, it's a AGB, is the brand, buyer, silver metallic top. Sold it for $14.99. I picked it up for 31 cents at the church fill-a-bag sale. Back in July, I picked it up and I listed it in November, so it took a month for this to sell. And on Poshmark, I sold this Lulu Marie sequin floral dress. This I picked up in November. It's when I started my Poshmark store January 2019. And so I was trying to buy things for it. And I just thought this dress was really cool. Because before that, I was just picking up vintage stuff and selling vintage stuff. And once I started my Poshmark shop in January, I decided to open up my eBay shop again. Also, I had originally had my eBay shop back in 2010, but because of the fees of listing, it was 30 cents for listing every, so it was just not what it is now where they offer you so many free listings. So that's why I stopped listing on eBay and was just doing Etsy until I opened my Poshmark. Now I'm doing Poshmark and eBay and Etsy and Thrilling. So anyway, I sold it for $15. I did pay $7.19 because that's how much dresses are now on at the Goodwill. But I thought it was really cool. And so I had listed it. So that took 2 years for this to sell. And then my vintage Etsy shop clothing, I sold the 70s Cossinet Lace Pied Noir Maxi for $36. I did so much research trying to find something like this. And Cosinest is actually has its own website. So I don't know if this robe, duster, whatever you want to call it, came from their website. But it was pretty cool. So anyway, it cost me 62 cents at the senior center in Cave Junction, the town on the way to the coast, and I picked it up January of 21, listed it in November, so it maybe took a month or less for this to sell. I think it took less than a month for this to sell. It was pretty cool. And then on my vintage collectibles shop on Etsy, I sold this Merry Christmas letters, plastic letters, poinsettia. That was really cool. I also picked this up at the Goodwill in Ashland for 64 cents. It was probably regularly 79 cents, got a senior discount, whatever. So anyway, sold these for $16, and I actually picked these also up back in 2010, and I listed them in 2011. So that's how long they were on Etsy with 20 cents a listing. I had relisted them 9 times, so it cost me $1.80 to relist them those 9 times. And on Poshmark, I sold this light, it's called light brown, light blonde is the label. Obsessively Grateful is the print t-shirt. And I sold it for $21. It cost me $1 at the Humane Society over in Brookings, one of my favorite thrift stores. They have a dollar rack. They have a 25-cent rack outside, and then inside they rotate their clothes every week. They rotate their clothes, and so they move things from one rack to the dollar rack. And as they move things over to the dollar rack, they take things off of all the other racks and move them over to another half off rack or something, and then they move them to the dollar rack, and then eventually they move them out to the 25-cent rack. I like their process. Their collectibles, on the other hand, at that shop are extremely high. Extremely high. Okay, and then on Poshmark, I also sold this Levi striped button-down shirt. I believe it's a men's shirt for $18. It didn't cost me anything. I got this from my ex-son-in-law. Let's say that my daughter's. Anyway, we go up to visit the granddaughter and visit him. Back in 2019, listed it November 2019, so it took 2 years for this to sell. And then on my vintage clothing store and Etsy, what did I sell? This 50s one-piece bubble swimsuit. Bubble is the design of how it, that's a phone. The bubble is the design for how it bubbles at the hemline, at the leg, thigh line. Anyway, sold it for $76, and I did pay $9 for this at the Emporium here in Ashland. Is the, it's like the collector center where people have their booths and they either sell collectibles. But at this Emporium, you don't have to just sell collectibles. You could make your stuff and sell it. You could import your stuff and sell it. Whatever. You could sell whatever for your booth. And I picked it up in 2019 and I listed it in May of 2019. So it took a couple of years to sell, almost, or over. I'm not quite sure, 1921. And then on my Etsy vintage collectible shop, I sold this 80s Homeco Holy Family figurines for $14. Cost me $1.50 for these at the Senior Center in Cave Junction, and I picked them up in 2020, listed in March of 2021. So that is what, 9 months? Took me 9 months or so, something like that, to sell. A Poshmark, I sold this black embroidered tote bag for $28. Also got that from my ex-son-in-law, my daughter's ex-husband. So same thing there. I listed it in October of 2020, so that took a year and a couple months to sell. And on eBay, I sold this Japanese Takahamaya blue vase for $50.40. So it had the sticker on the bottom. And I looked those up, and there's some of this that are signed, I think, actually signed in the pottery or something, that go for hundreds of dollars. But this just had the sticker on it. Anyway, paid $2 for this at a Restore, which is like a Habitat for Humanity store. The Restore in Bend, one of my favorite shops from now on to go to, because their collectibles there are awesome and really good price. I mean, you could find this beautiful vase for $2 there. I have some vintage 70s clay tiles from Italy. I paid $15 for each clay tile, but they're gorgeous, and I'll eventually get those listed. I really kind of might want to keep them, but I have no room in my house, so I have to sell them. Anyway, I picked this vase up in July of 2021 on our vacation over to the coast. My son lives over there in Bend too. And listed it in October, so it took 2 months for this to sell. Gorgeous vase, really beautiful. Then on that, and that one was on eBay, right? So then on my Etsy collectible shop, I sold this Country Angel doll, a primitive Country Angel doll. Sold it for $24. It cost me 35 cents at the Bend in the town that I go to, where the Bends are in my neighborhood. My Bends are about 20 miles away off, but it's right off the freeway. Get on the freeway, hop down the freeway, get off in the town. There you have it. Anyway, I picked this up in May of 21 and listed it July of 21, and it sold in December 21 for $24. And also in the same shop, I sold this Happy Anniversary 1968 Rust Berries little resin figurine, and I've sold some other these type of figurines before too, for $12. Paid $1.79 at the Goodwill here in town in June of 21. Listed it in August of 21. So August, September, October, November. 4 months. Took 4 months for that to sell. $12. So, and then in my vintage clothing Etsy shop, I sold this Huba gray sharkskin silk jacket. I actually have two of these. So the gray one sold. I still have the lavender one. Sold it for $48. Picked it up at an estate sale over on the coast. I'm trying to picture what estate sale I went to the coast where I picked this up. I don't recall. Oh, I recall. We were headed out of town, and the lady was down at the end of the driveway and had just put the sign out, and it said estate sale. My husband, as we're driving by, goes, "Hey, there's an estate sale." And he knows what I want to do, so we pulled around, went up there, and they were actually there because somebody had bought a bunch of furniture. The mother that owned the property that had all the stuff that she does, she had her own like business. Or anyway, she did resell also, somehow, some way. And they needed to clear out the garage, the big, huge, tall garage, um, because they had to go back up to Washington. So they needed to get her stuff out. And I think she said they had some other storage units full of really old vintage clothing. But the other sibling was going to take care of that or something. But anyway, so I went through and I pulled together a whole lot of stuff, and she gave me a price of $25 for everything. And so it came out to 86 cents when I break it down. For everything I bought into 25, came down to 86 cents. And I got two of these jackets, and quite a bit of vintage clothes, some shoes, stuff like that, and some collectible stuff. And that was in July of 2021. And let me see. Don't know, I didn't put down when I listed it. I think I just listed it a few months ago, if that. Not even that, maybe. And then on Poshmark, I sold this pin dark blue sweatshirt. I actually have two. The other one is a hoodie sweatshirt I haven't listed yet. And when I listed this, I think I put uh, whatever state, Penn University, Utah State. I don't know what I put in the. And somebody messaged me on Poshmark and said this is belongs to blah 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 university. I'm like, oh. And I said, okay. So eventually I got around to changing it to what, because there was Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, that's it. Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania State or something, and I didn't know what was what. Um, Collegiate. Anyway, sold for $18. My husband gave me this. He didn't wear it anymore. The other one I had bought and given to my daughter, and she gave it back to me. She doesn't wear it either. Okay, I'll get that one listed too. Um, Etsy, in my collectibles shop, I sold this Holly Hobby trinket tray for $10. I paid 50 cents for it from Habitat for Humanity in the town north of me. Picked it up in 2020, listed it in 2020, so it took 2 years. No, 1 year. Yeah, it took 1 year for that. 1 year and 1 month or whatever. 1 year and a half a month for that to sell. Last thing on eBay, I sold this soft surroundings copper tunic with the gold trim for $30. Paid $5 for it at the Senior Center in Port Orford in June of 2021, and I listed it on December 3rd, and it sold on the 15th. So that just took 12 days for that to sell. Okay, so that's it. That's 19 items. So if you like what sold, I have a playlist of what sold. Hit the subscribe, the bell to get notifications, obviously. The like. If you like this video, give me a like. I appreciate it. Thank you. And if you like, I would love to hear a comment from you. If you have anything to say at all. Well, maybe not just anything. And then I could respond back. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Bye.